Good morning everyone. My topic of research paper presentation is Green Infrastructure for Sustainable Urban Development in India. So the structure of my presentation will start from the background and the context of the topic, then methods and methodology that I adopted to carry out this study, then how does the GI evolve over the period of times. The next will be GI at different scales of urban areas, its types and function. And finally the case study that I have taken, that is the case study of Damdama Lake at Gurugram, its analysis, results, and the last but not the least, that what I concluded from the whole study. So now coming on to the background and context of the topic, nowadays sustainable urban development is the major challenge faced through our cities in the 21st century. Vertical city with green infrastructure is the imageability of Indian cities and towns. Green infrastructure serves as a practical means of delivering sustainable development. There are a lot of examples of green infrastructure like water bodies, constructed wetland, rain garden, biofuels, urban forestry, etc. that I will be discussing further in the next coming slides. So green infrastructure comprises of various aspects such as social, economical and environmental stability of life. Nowadays, if we see, there is a rise in construction and development of roads, buildings and pavements, which ultimately results to the loss of green spaces and also decreases the absorption of water in the city, and they are the major reason of flooding. Due to the runoff in the cities, quantity of contaminants into the streams, lakes and rivers is rising. So all these factors are responsible for disappearance of wetland, groundwater depletion and urban flooding. So green infrastructure basically connects the network of green spaces which conserves natural ecosystem functions and values. It basically uses natural process to manage water quantity and quality by reducing the requirement for grey infrastructure and by restoring the hydrological function of urban landscape. Next, what are the methods and methodology that I have adopted? My aim is basically to develop an approach and strategies of green infrastructure for sustainable urban development in India. And my objectives are: first step is to interpret various definitions of green infrastructure across the world and derive the same for urban landscape. Then second step is the evolution of green infrastructure in India. Third step is establishing the green infrastructure at different scale in India. Then fourth step is the vital role of various types of green infrastructure and their functions. Then fifth is the case study of Damdama Lake at regional and urban level to find the major issues which are important for the lake ecology. And finally the sixth step, what are the strategies for the Damdama Lake and implementation of the rational solution through the green infrastructure. I have gone through so many definitions of green infrastructure by various authors, and then I concluded and proposed the green infrastructure definition as: it is a holistic approach to land use management and which should be designed in a way which provides multifunctional resource capable of delivering environmental benefits to the communities, and which is basically reinforced by the conception of ecosystem services. It includes areas like green corridors, parks and coastlines. Green infrastructure restores, strengthen and maintain the ecosystem that basically provide multifunctional benefits to the life. It also helps in placemaking, and this is a process of character of different places and perceiving sensitivities. It also provides water resource management by enhancing and utilizing the natural hydrological cycle, basically the process of infiltration, evaporation and reuse in the urban environment. Next is, how does the green infrastructure evolve throughout the ages? Around 3000 BC in the ancient India, green infrastructure started from Indus Valley civilization. City had an effective and a sound system of drainage, and they were running under walkways, and finally they are connected to the main sewers which are led under the main roads. The city also had a great bath which has a remarkable system of filling and emptying water, which proves it is a first example of green infrastructure. Then the Patliputra wastewater was basically carried through the underground drainage and then finally to the river Ganga. In 1559 AD, Udaipur comprised of artificial lakes which is designed in and around the city to fulfill the demand of water. Then in 1727 AD, Jaipur was developed and planned so as to tap the optimum utilization of natural slope of the water supply. Around 1809, Bangalore had interlinked network of lakes, wells and beautiful gardens which basically fulfill the need of water. Green infrastructure was also traced during the Mughal period in various complexes like Taj Mahal, Shalimar Bagh and Humayun's tomb. During British period in India, the last city was designed by Edwin Lutyens, which is New Delhi. About 1913, Lutyens' plan consists of unique water courses and their integration with the parks which are developed around the monuments, then generous green spaces and unique green character. After 1947, there is a broad network of green infrastructure showed by various cities like Chandigarh and Gandhinagar. In 1950, Chandigarh has been given a very distinctive character by its landscape architect that what kind of tree should grow where. Apart from that, the city also had a very long band of open space which runs from one sector to another sector through residential units to commercial center. Then in 1960, Gandhinagar was a city which is basically based on the concept of Chandigarh.
Next is what are the types and functions of green infrastructure. So green roof, they are basically vegetated rooftop which includes layer like drainage and irrigation system. Then permeable pavement. It catches precipitation and surface runoff, storing it in the reservoir, which slowing allow it to infiltrate into the soil below or discharge via a drain tile. Then bioswale. It is basically an open vegetated channel which consists of dense cover of vegetation through which the storm event runoff is directed. Then constructed wetland. So it is an artificial wetland in which we treat the industrial and domestic wastewater, and it basically involves a natural process like vegetation, soil and their water quality in association of microbial assemblages. Next is rain garden. So it is basically a vegetated shallow depression which collects rainwater runoff from parking areas, roofs and other surfaces. Then vegetative filter strip. So these areas act as a filter to catch sediments and reduces the velocity of stormwater runoff and increases the groundwater recharge. So they are beneficial near wetlands and on floodplain areas. Then riparian buffer. So these are the established strips of vegetation which are next to stream, river or water body, and they are designed so as to capture nutrient sediments and runoff in order to restore a more aquatic environment.
Now the case study that I have chosen is the Damdama Lake at Gurugram. So it is basically situated in the north and south of Aravalli outcrops. Basically it is a ridge which spans between the Gurugram and Faridabad. It is located nearby Sohna town in Gurugram district. So the Aravalli range in Haryana is basically denudational in nature and the geology of the region is Bhakol formation. Now the analysis that I have done in this particular case study is the primary source of recharge in this lake is rainfall. The network of minor drains collect the water from the watershed area and release it into the lake. The area along this lake is under overexploited zone, and also the area under this lake falls under poor soil fertility zone. The farming of gram, bajra and barley crops has been gradually replaced by wheat, rapeseed and mustard crops. In recent decade, the rural settlement has been gradually transforming to urban settlement. From the satellite image, it is quite evident that there is a shrinkage of water spread area of this lake. Groundwater overexploitation causes the fall in aquifer levels and which decreases the lake area from 0.34 square kilometer in the year 1999 to 0.03 square kilometer in 2017. There are several johars which have now disappeared in the Sona Final Development Plan 2031. Then there is an increase in private development adjacent to the lake like farmhouse, resorts, etc. They have become threat for this lake, and also watershed region is facing multiple threats with lot of anthropogenic activities. This lake is a wetland and habitat for a variety of winter migratory birds. There are around 128 species of birds that are spotted in this lake like yellow wagtail Motacilla flava, white wagtail Motacilla alba, etc. Now coming on to the results, basically the approach and rational strategies through green infrastructure to conserve the lake. Watershed region needs to be conserved so as to regenerate the presence of lake. Johars need to be revived for the groundwater recharge of the region surrounding Damdama Lake. Johars can also be proposed as one of the green infrastructure tools for regenerating the lake and improving the water quantity of the lake. Forest areas which are less affected by anthropogenic activities and have dense vegetation in the catchment region of this lake are less prone to soil erosion.
Therefore, such areas need to be preserved. Due to anthropogenic activities, the areas which are degraded should be completely reserved. Region around Damdama Lake must be restored as biodiversity reserve. Bunds could be one of the green infrastructure solutions for the prevention of soil erosion, vegetation, afforestation, and groundwater recharge. Tree species like Acacia catechu, Acacia nilotica, and grasses like Cynodon dactylon need to be proposed. Within the watershed region, permeable pavement should be proposed basically to connect those areas which are not accessible at present, like Bade Johar Ka Mandir. Apart from that, nature trails should be proposed by using the permeable pavement so as to explore the avian biodiversity of this lake and also to optimize the objective of rainwater harvesting in this region. To treat the wastewater at micro level such as at domestic household and village abadi level, constructed wetland with horizontal subsurface flow should be encouraged. Rational use of rain garden and green roof can be adopted as green infrastructure initiative within the watershed region at micro level, which will ultimately regulate the runoff and augment the groundwater table. Provision of riparian buffer of about 20 to 30 meter along the lake edge will restore the lake aquatic habitat and minimize the nearby community access. Bioswales should be used along the existing and proposed roads and the walkways within the catchment area of the lake. And combination of bioswales and buffer could be a feasible solution to minimize the soil erosion in the catchment area as well as the stream feeding into the lake. Now last but not the least, what I concluded from this study. Water bodies in the urban areas are in degraded condition and day by day their water quality are continuously shrinking, which basically needs to be maintained for better urban sustainability. Green infrastructure is an important instrument for the society as a part of the smart growth and conservation approach to more sustainable living. Green infrastructure can become an effective tool to regenerate and conserve urban lakes as green lungs of the city. There is a huge scope to amalgamate the green infrastructure technology with the biodiversity elements, and this has a lot of potential to be further extended in the future.
So this is all from my side. I really appreciate your patience and attention for the last few minutes. Thank you all for your precious time.